Hey, what's going on out there, guys? Welcome to another Addicted Fishing podcast. Couple announcements. We are ripping these things out right now. But big announcement, March 12th at 6:30, 7:30, 7 p.m. Somewhere in there. Fortunately, I got Marlon in the house. He's off mic because I got two special guests. You guys already recognize that laugh, probably. There he is. There he is, guys. But on March 12th, we have our spring drop. Lots of cool stuff, cool flashers, landing nets. The new landing net's going to be available, limited quantities. I believe we got some apparel in there as well. So be sure to check that out, guys. I can't really show you because, well, it's a podcast, so it doesn't really work. But it will be available online after the Addicted Life episode on March 12th. Be sure to check it out. But March 12th. Why are we talking March? Because I got two very, very, very fishy Springer dudes in here, and we're going to talk a little predictions and a little ideas and kind of getting ready and formulating a plan for the season. That's right. I got Mr. Patrick Gaffney from Gaffney's Guide Service, our bait guy, Harbor Herring, and Point Defiance.
I'm tired, dude. I'm tired.
He wanted to see if I knew. There's so many herring companies out there, but we prefer Harbor Herring and Point Defiance. But I just wanted to make sure I got there. All my labels say Harbor Herring.
Yeah,
because you sell bait into those.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for mine. I don't have any.
You get the other brands.
I'm gonna run Banjo Minnows this year.
Ryan McCon, Riverside Guide Service,
How's it
but
going,
he doesn't
everybody?
get does not get Harbor Herring. So he gets a handicap this year. So
that's all right. I'm used to that. I'll still come back with a fire.
Oh my gosh. What's your predictions? When are you getting started? What's going on?
Every day I fish for springers right now.
Oh, okay. So one's gonna grab your silly little steelhead bead. Has it happened yet? Are you guys seeing stringers?
I seen one roll, and I know of one caught where I'm fishing, but some plunkers lower in the system. I heard of 6 caught yesterday, and
wow,
there's definitely some fish moving in. I think the temperature's coming up this week. We've had some real cold, icy conditions, snowing almost every day, and I think we're going to get a good push of fish when this temp comes up a little bit this week. We got 50 degrees coming, and I think you're going to see some more fish caught.
For how cold it is, it does seem surprising how many fish are going to. I know a couple that were caught in the lower river today, and then somebody, you said.
Yeah, I heard of two hooked in the Columbia today, and same thing, heard of a handful in the tributaries already. A friend of mine and drift boating got one the other day on a pink worm, surprisingly.
No kidding.
Yeah, and a couple others. So starting to happen.
For how many? So usually I always kind of like try to have a fish by like my wife's birthday, which is March 11th. Mm-hmm. I always, because if it's a nice weather day, we end up going fishing or whatever. But it does seem like for how cold the Columbia is, being 38.5 degrees, there are fish getting caught.
Yeah.
Like, and in a level at least where there's some around, the conditions are good, the water's clear as clear can be.
Yeah.
So you don't have to bonk one right probably right on the head, but there are fish. Usually what happens in these real cold Columbia situations is they all kind of like lockjaw in the Columbia, and then they get up into the warmer waters, into the tributaries and the channels. And
get snapped.
See a couple get caught.
There, you start seeing it, but we're seeing them.
Did you have your fish finder on today? I haven't turned mine on in like 2 weeks. I don't know what the water temp is where we were today.
No, last week when I had it, it was down to 3 days ago actually. It's 39 degrees in the tributaries. So it's about even. I know I was out crab fishing a few weeks ago, and the ocean out in front of the mouth of the Columbia, it's like 45, 46. So there is a big thermocline there, I actually saw, not springers, but saw some steelhead out in the ocean at nighttime hanging out under crab buoys and stuff.
Nice.
So it kind of got me jacked. Like,
is that like a thing? Do you see that often?
I don't know. I've always heard that steelhead are very like, surface dwelling creatures.
They swim like 5 to 10 feet below the surface most of their life.
Right. And not to get off on a tangent, but you do hear about the guys out in like 3,000 feet of water, like tuna fishing, catch, occasionally a steelhead like on a tuna clone or on a fish trap.
Right. But nonetheless, anyways, there's a big thermal barrier out there. So for what we've been hearing is coming up the Columbia already and into tributaries, you can't help but be positive. It's
right. It's
and
better
the
to hear about
smelt,
it than not.
You know, all the smelt that are in the river that happens every year, and that seems like that's getting better and better every year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there was this. I mean, the smelt, like, so if you want to talk about, like, you know, what ends up coming up in the spring is usually, like, if you get a good big smelt run, you'll get a spring run. But what's crazy about that smelt this year is it came in early. It lasted for weeks.
Forever.
And it's already gone.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's good because I think there was a few years.
We've had years where they're just loaded and you're hooking them on your hooks trying to troll, and it's just crazy. And, you know, and the other thing that's a positive of that run ending is the sea lions that come in mass force chasing those smelt are now going to maybe be less pressure from them. Maybe.
One
I
could
mean,
hope. One could hope.
I don't know. I'm
You got
just
your
trying to
paintball
think.
gun ready yet?
Trying to think positive.
Yeah. But it is. I do remember a couple years ago, like even trolling like up in Woodland when the smelt were going up. I mean, that was a year they made it all the way to the Sandy again, just barely. But there was so many dead smelt and live smelt swimming around the river. Like you had to fish prawn spinners like in mid-March to end of March because there was so many smelt. And and even though you were getting a few bites, it was considerably tough.
Yeah, that year I fished all the way up in like Portland area, and the smelt were so thick. Literally, I'd be running cut plug herring and hooking them on my trailer hooks, and it was really annoying.
Yeah, but fortunately, it seems like I haven't heard anybody say anything, but I know like some of the guys in the lower below the Cowlitz where most of the smelt were going this year, even though some did get to the Lewis, that they're obviously hooking fish down there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean, no huge numbers, but if those things clear out, we get a little bit of a warm up. What do you think?
Honestly, it's more. I've heard of more fish caught in tributaries, and to me, that's positive. Early fish mean big runs.
Yeah. And there was already one that I don't remember names, whatever, but there was already one that made the Merwin Dammit on the Lewis like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
In fact, the Pacific Core guy.
My rule of thumb is always when that smelt run dies, those springers are right on their tail. Like when they die off, here they come.
Dude, little warm up. Yeah. What do you think of the snowpack? We got a lot of snow now, but it's not.
We've had, compared to last couple of years, we've had a much colder late winter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be advantageous the way things are setting up for some possibly good early season fishing, but I do think we're going to struggle with cold water for quite a while. Just with, there's been snowing every 2 days a week around here. It's been super cold back east.
I had a half inch of snow on my boat this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to have
bass tournaments starting in like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Oh, here we go.
I think the conditions with the smelt and stuff is going to be advantageous, but I think we're going to be dealing with cold water, which might be holding fish up, and it might make us have to fish a little differently.
So here's I just literally pulled up the snowpack percentages, right, for the whole basin. And what's funny is that, and I don't know how this rates this, but believe it or not, like in Tillamook County, it's 623% of average because they just had that snow.
Yeah.
They just had big snow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, the difference.
But everywhere else is right around like the whole, like all of Oregon is either dead even or into the 110% percentile. Washington, like North Washington, North Idaho, they're all like in the 80 to 100%.
Right. Well, what about Canada? Because that's kind of going to be the driver.
It doesn't have Canada, but you can see like kind of the upper basins there. It's just like a normal year, man. And if it's a normal
One thing I think that's not normal is there's more lowland snow than we're used to. Like the hills where I'm fishing are white every day, hasn't melted out of the trees even, and normally you just don't see that. The snow level stays a little bit higher, but with our cold temperatures, there's more lowland snow, so I'm hoping it melts. I like a little watercolor on the fisheries, especially tributary fishing. I don't want it gin clear.
No, but I would like to see the Columbia when we get out there trolling, 43, 42, somewhere in that ballpark at least.
Well, the good news is, guys, is because I've always said that if you have, I don't care if you have 500,000 fish of springers, which doesn't happen, but if you had 500,000 springers, it doesn't really matter because if you have really bad conditions. But if you only had 100,000 fish and you had favorable conditions to troll them up, you can smash them because, well, springers are stupid and they bite a lot of things.
One thing I wanted to say, I was talking to an Oregon guy. I won't mention the name, but I hope he listens to this. And he told me the other day he thinks the water's going to be so cold that they won't bite bait. And I just laughed at him.
What are they going to bite?
He said, "Oh, they're going to only bite plastic." I go, "Really?" It was pretty funny, but I 100% disagree with that.
Challenge my bait to
I will be running my herring every day, and so will you guys.
Yeah, I got a couple cases myself.
I think that the closer the Columbia matches the ocean water temperature, I think the better fishing we have. You know, that gap range is closed.
I agree. It's almost like a green light. When you see that temp almost hit the ocean temp, it's here they come and they bite really good.
Yeah.
There was a tributary that Ryan and I were trolling a lot last year in May that was icy cold compared to the Columbia, and all the fish just sat outside that river mouth and got blasted because they wouldn't move up.
That's pretty common for that place.
Right, and in fact, to the point where the hatchery, if it wasn't for like a rain that kind of came in and spurred some up there, they were kind of getting to the point where if the hatchery wasn't going to start seeing fish, they were going to close us down because they weren't going to get brewed, and we were smashing them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can
one of the best years you've seen.
Right. So understanding like how cold water will kind of slow them, just like hot water won't like allow those fish to bust out of buoy 10 and head up the river, kind of slow them up. Like it's the same situation now. I do think
that fishery you're talking about, I fished it for almost 20 years, and I'm telling you, until it hits 48, those fish will swim around for 2 months, and if the temp doesn't come up, they will not go in there. You might get a trickle a couple a day, here and there, but when that temp hits 48 to 50 on that tributary, it is just, they just bum rush it, and
they'll all be gone.
There's nothing left out in front.
When it gets muddy and stuff, you think that, maybe the fish won't go into that mud. Like BS, like that muddy, warmer water, they're gone. When are you going to start?
I'm going to start on
day. You're going to give it a shot.
The 25th.
You're starting on the 25th with clients. You going out beforehand?
No, I'm just going right into it, full boat, get out there and get it done.
I'm Riverside. I don't care.
I mean, it is. If they're there, we'll get them.
Okay, if they're there, you'll catch them.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all.
I know you will. What about you, Gaffney? When you start?
I'm gonna fish steelhead, and then I'm moving camp down on the 25th, and then I think the 26th I'm gonna start myself.
Sunday?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. I got a bass tournament on the 25th, so I'm gonna start on the 24th.
But I'm starting a little lower than you guys, so hopefully I'll let a few by.
Oh my gosh! Listen to this guy. We're going below you, but don't worry about it.
Get out of my spot.
Oh, I won't be in your spot. We'll be below your spot. That's the only way I'm going to catch him before Ryan catches them all,
I had a guide last year that told me to come to this place. I've never trolled it in my life, and within about 3 days, he goes, I don't know what's in your bait, dude, but ever since you showed up, I can't get bit. I said, I'm just taking my fish. I'm not taking yours.
It's plastic. It's all plastic, right?
That's right.
That's
you know how this game is. A lot of it's mental, and once a guy spins out, he just put it on the trailer.
They just have big crocodile tears.
Yeah.
I actually saw that. I actually saw that last week one day, but that's for another podcast.
I saw it too.
All right, moving on. Trolling herring. I can tell you. Remember last year? Not last year, but a few years ago. What do you think about currents? Because
I think we're going to have low, clear water conditions unless we get a big spike, like where we see the air temperatures come up to in the 60 range. And, I think it's going to be crystal clear. I think we're going to have about 5.5 feet of visibility and be low.
Do you think, are you going to be playing with 360s at all early in the season? What do you that's always like the biggest, we're going to get asked it 1,000 times now. Yes, but
that kind of dictates if I see a certain water temp, I'll definitely do it because the flows will be low enough that I can just run downhill and feel confident about my program.
Yeah. I don't buy the temperature thing on 360s ever because the year of COVID, before they shut us down, because thank you, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, for shutting us down because it was so paramount that we did not go outside and do anything outdoor activities to help thwart the spread of COVID. But before that, I was actually catching a few fish like up here on 360s in 39-degree water.
Oh, yeah.
But it was clear.
You know me, Cameron.
So I say clear
I'm
water.
not a fan of triangle flashers whatsoever. I fish them for about 2 weeks of the whole year.
Money, so.
And, it's just, I don't know. I don't care for it. You know me, I'm a power troller.
So Marlon just asked a question, guys. Speaking of triangles, JT's got some of these, his chrome dip triangles, which, chrome, baby. All you UV guys out there can just go pound sand. Okay, just kidding. But it's all about the chrome. He doesn't make it UV dipped,
Now it's
Maybe
all
he
about
should.
that candy back.
but now he's making chrome candied chartreuse and pink triangle flashers. Like that are like, I mean,
I like
they're
that.
beautiful. I think the chartreuse like
They definitely look
absolutely.
like fisherman catchers.
Well, here's
For
the thing.
sure. I'm not going to run out, myself. I'm pretty confident in my program, but they look awesome. If it becomes where someone's just kicking my butt, well, of course I'm going to go out and get some. But
So what about some of those triangles and some of those 360s that are half chrome chartreuse, where you see a lot of use on that kind of stuff upriver.
Yeah, like
Ryan for once in his life is speechless. I'll go to Gaffney.
A 50-50.
no, I was just thinking about all the addicted short bus flashers that I took half the tape off of them, and wait till you see my new sick addicted flashers that will be spinning around whacking fish this year. Definitely nobody has them.
Chartreuse candy, no. Chartreuse candy and chrome is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and I know a few guys upriver that just dominate on those.
Last year, for me at least, I have always been, doing triangles and herring. I was always, a lot of fluorescence. But last year it seemed like it was a ton of gold and chrome that got way more bites for me than years past.
You think it's just from the clear water?
I think it was the same clarity as the year before almost. I just think it was just partly the fish's attitude, or there was a lot more pressure in the areas we were fishing compared to the last couple years before that. So I think it was just a different look for the fish personally.
It pays to be different.
Yeah, it does. And you're asking 360s or triangles.
Yes.
Well, I was going to add, I think the better question is going to anchor fish or troll, because last year when we were fishing, we kind of got pushed out of our troll routine because of the anchor guys. So it almost made some of us, we were kind of had to.
So there's a
I hate when that happens.
there's a special place that. Never mind, I'm not going to say that for the anchor guys. But no, I'm kidding. They have the right to fish there. But even though if you're trolling, you don't own the river lanes. But I hear what you're saying, because when those tides, last year was one of those years where there was enough water where on big outgoing tides it got too fast to troll.
Yeah.
But then it also and the anchor guys.
But you could catch them though doing it if you were in the right lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, those
I
lanes
think
get
unless
taken.
a bunch of this snow melt happens, you guys, we're going to be out in the deep, and those anchor guys aren't going to be doing as good as where we fish. And I think you're going to be able to get out a little bit farther in deeper water and whack and stack.
Yeah.
There's been years where I think we've been seeing this setup when the water gets really clear and the current's back off, where we were trolling 50 feet on the bottom.
I love 50 feet.
And I love
love 50 feet.
Not a lot of people do. Like, people play that, but bottom line is, like, when we see, I feel like I think we're going to end up there, but also remembering that when they're 50 feet on the bottom, that when the tide backs off, they are now suspending, and then that's when like the 360 stuff started really doing good. So I don't know. I am really, really optimistic. There's nothing in the long-term forecast. There's nothing in the snowpack, and there's nothing like condition-wise that's really scaring me, though. Like, I mean, I think we're gonna.
I think we're going to be fine. I
for
think it's going to
very
be
good
a
year.
really good season with the predictions and the numbers this year that we're seeing in tributaries already. And I think it's going to be a great season. I wish we would have got a little bit more time in April, with the better predictions. I was hoping for at least, through the 10th, or at least give us that weekend, the 8th and the 9th.
Yeah.
I had it booked. I actually had to take the guys off the calendar, and that kind of sucks. I love springer fishing in the lower Columbia in April, and we just such a short window anymore,
But what's crazy is even in that window this year, they're predicting we catch almost twice as many fish.
Yeah.
If they're around, you catch.
They better be right.
No.
Yeah, the forecast. Well, they're always right on their forecast.
Oh, yeah.
So come on. Listen.
Well,
Yeah, they're only.
Anchovies or herring? Anchovies or herring?
I'm gonna come with it all. I'm gonna be ready with anchovies, herring, different size herring. I'm gonna have quick fish in my boat. Since you helped me mount my spot lock, I don't have to anchor anymore. Just spot lock and drop it.
Spot and drop it. It should be like a
Spot lock.
Spot lock and drop it.
I need to have a wrap.
What
of
what
that.
about you, Gaffney? You a big anchovy guy at all?
Yeah.
You throw
I mean,
around?
I got a little smaller boat than the other guys, so I can't always put 6 guests in my boat, but if I'm fishing 6 rods, I usually have 2 anchovies and 4 herring out.
There.
And out of those 4 herring, 1 or 2 of them are always dyed of some color. So I give them
what color?
Chartreuse or blue. But
you're not one of the pink guys.
I'm not a
They're
pink.
playing that.
No.
Do you dye any of your herring, Ryan?
Yeah, I like chartreuse and blue in the lower, but and then the mixture of the two makes like a forest green, and sometimes that's a slayer too. Yeah. Pink herring, I've done really good tributaries and a little bit farther upriver, and I've seen it slay, but it's something that I haven't had a lot of success in the lower Columbia.
Yeah, we had Procure on, and they all talked chartreuse and blue, but no one talked about the pink herring.
Or orange.
Orange
or red.
There's all sorts of things, but I don't know. I will
get it in front of them, right?
I feel like those fresh springers coming in, they just key in on chartreuse and blue. It's just a great metallic presentation when you dye your baits, and pretty tough to beat.
Nope, but there will be a mix of both baits in my boat, because I've seen it where, like, first thing in the morning, especially last year, one of them, like an anchovy, first bite of the morning, it seemed like for a week straight, the first bite always came out anchovy, and then it was herring the rest of the day. For me, my boat at least, but I'm definitely going to have both.
Yeah, for me, I run a lot of times. I run chovies and helmets on my bow rods because I drag those heavier leads than my middle rods or my back rods, and I'll put chovies and helmets so we're not blowing out our bait, and we're not filling it full of sand and stuff, and those are the first rods they're going to see, especially with clear water. Like, those rods should be getting most of your bites. And if they get past those, then I got usually 4 herring out, and that's kind of my cleanup crew.
Yep. Last year it was my back corner rod that got probably 75% of my bites.
One of those damn rods that you can't figure out why.
Do you have a special flasher on that one?
Yeah, I'd switch the flasher around just that rod.
Yeah, why always? There's always that one. Well, all I can say is I am looking forward to it. Steelhead season's been good, but it's just about time. But like you guys, I'm not going to start till the 24th. So same thing. But I tell you what, guys, hopefully we'll see you guys all out there. One last quick announcement, guys. March 12th, spring drop. We will have, I think, some of these chartreuse flashers possibly in the drop as well. We've got some other custom flashers for you guys. JT's always hooked us up, treated us right, and hopefully we'll be able to pass those on to you guys. Be sure to check it out. And the limited edition, well, not limited edition, but the limited amount of the landing nets. You guys have been wanting them. You guys have been asking them. You guys have been bugging the heck out of them because, well, we talked about them way too much and then didn't get them delivered. But now we got them. March 12th, 7 o'clock, spring drop. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Later.
Later.